Hello. I'll wait a few moments just for some people to hopefully come on in. But hopefully you guys are ready for some coloring. So tonight we are going to be coloring this sweet little image. It is called Annie, You Did It. Hey Mindy. So we're coloring this image up with graduations coming up and all of that. I thought this would be the perfect time to color her up. We're also going to feature some other Stamp Anything products. So we're going to use let me just zoom out a bit here. We're going to use the Shaker Basics Set 2. And if you haven't seen these dies, you get your outline die, which you could use this just as to build your card base, like a blueprint. And then there's also a frame that you can make a shaker card with. So we're using set number 2, which has the square and the frame, and then the tag die and the frame. And I can show you what some cards I've made using this. And also came out with add-ons that layer on top of this, which I love. So here is one that I made using the tag die, and I used the add-on. Let me just see if I can find that one. There's a whole pile. So these are the add-ons. So this is the add-on for that one. So with this one, I just made a holiday Christmas card. And then there's also with set 1, you can get, there's a peppermint. Let me just see, I have a card with that. Here's the one I made with the peppermint die add-on. There's also a present, and this is one I made with the present add-on die. Made it a shaker card. There's also with the circle, you can do a wreath builder, which I don't have that one handy. And then there's a snow globe you can do. And then this is my favorite one I use. And this one, I just used the rectangle die, and then I added the abstract splatter bands on the top to make a little coffee cup. So that's what I did with that one. And we're actually going to use these adornments today, so I'll get to that next. Let me just move these guys out of the way. So yeah, we're going to use this set. We're going to use the adornments. I think this is Jade, is what the back of this one says, and this is Snow Diamonds. We're also going to use the Awesome word die on our card today, and the Falling Stars stencil. And I need to grab one more thing. I need some acetate as well. Just grab a sheet of that, because we will need that, because we're going to make a shaker card. All right, so I already pre-stamped my image and cut her out. I tried to do everything ahead of time, so we can for people that are rewatching this, it's not going to be as slow. So I think I'm going to just stick with the same. Hi, Alicia. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in. So I'm going to stick with our same skin tone. Oops. I'm going to stick with our same skin tone that we did the other day. So we have E04, E11, E21, E00, and E000. And then for blush, we're going to use R20. All right, so let's get right into this. So we're going to start with our E04, and I'm going to go right into where I feel the darkest areas would be on this image. So I'm going to go right under her hat, and probably right here as well. And then I'm going to go under her chin, right here in her throat area. Hi, Kelly. And then I'm going to just do a bit on her hands. Yes, this stamp does not have an outline die at this point, but with all of Anne's images, so Anne started coming out with the outline dies January of this year, so everything that's come out January of this year has outline dies, but the products before, the stamps before, don't have it. But Anne does have the SVG cut files on the website, so you can download the outlines. I believe you still have that, right, Anne? And you can download the cut files and then use your Silhouette or Cricut or Brother Scan and Cut, and you can cut out the outline die or the outline shape and then stamp it. So I'm going in with E11 and we're just building up and going off of where we colored with the E04. Yeah, they are super easy to fussy cut as well. They're not hard. But I know some people do not like fussy cutting. All right. And then one thing I like to do with the E11 is I like to just go and follow the shape of the eye and extend it a bit. And you're going to go up into this eyelid as well. Yes, so Anne says, yes, they have the SVG outlines for your Cameo, Cricut, or Scan and Cut. All right, so next we're going to go into E21. And again, same thing, we're just building up and expanding off of where we started each time, just slowly building out the color. So what's everybody doing today? I think it's, what is it, Memorial Day weekend in the US. I'm in Canada. We had our long weekend last week. So next I'm going with E00. And any suggestions for hair, what you'd like to see on her today? Cut, yeah. My daughter is having kindergarten promotion, but I have to look at my stash. I might already have this stamp. Yeah, I think she came out, was it in 2017, Anne? I think she came out just before I joined. You've been doing yard work? So I'm just trying to leave that outline, white outline around the eye. Blonde hair. Do you want a yellow blonde or kind of a soft blonde? Yeah, it was just before I started then, because I started in July of 2017. That's when I joined the team. Hi, Passion. All right, and then before we do our last, a yellow blonde, all right. So before we do our last skin combo, oh, and I gotta do her little hands as well with this. I'm just gonna actually color those right in. I'm gonna go in with R20, and I'm gonna just set in her cheeks. So I go in right by the eyes here, and right underneath. I'm not worried about it blending. Yep, it was with Tony Let's Hang Out. Still one of my, I love that stamp. So now I'm going in with E000. I actually was just looking at Tony Let's Hang Out the other day, and I want to color him up again. I wish I still had that card I made. what ink do I use? So I use Anne's ink, the hybrid inks. So I think it's called Obsidian. Yeah, Obsidian. And these you can watercolor, or you can stamp with. I believe you can watercolor with these too. I haven't tried it, but these are alcohol friendly because they are a hybrid ink. Alright, and I am just going to go over the skin one more time just because I want to get a bit of a better blend. I'm going to skip the E04 this time, and I'm going to go to E11, and I'm just going to touch up a few areas because I see some areas I can do a bit better with. So again, I'm going to go set in my cast shadow kind of underneath her hair. We're going to be playing with the inks today too, with this card. Hi, Carrie. And then we're going to go in with the E21 again. And we'll go to E00. Oh, I saw that you were making some meatloaf today, Carrie. It's funny, I just had meatloaf minutes before I went live. I had supper and I had meatloaf. I love meatloaf. So I'm going in with that R20 again. And then we're going to go in with our E00. And did anybody else have any suggestions? Are we good with blonde hair? I think we only got one person suggesting a hair color. And I know I'm going to go over top of this mouth, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to color it in a darker color anyway. There we go. Blonde is great. All right. And I want to do some more videos where I color some different skin tones as well. So some darker skin tones, some lighter skin tones. Yes, I'm going to do her outfit in black. Just going to darken up. I can show you my secrets for black. Okay. I'm going to color in her tongue. I'm using E04. Then I'm going to go in with my colorless blender and just dab right in the center just to lighten that up. All right, so let's pick a blonde color. So I think I'm going to do, let's see. I think I'm going to do, I like Y15, 13, and 11. And I think I'm going to throw in a bit of Y26. We'll see how that looks. Hi, Jamie. So I'm going to start with some Y26. I haven't tried this before, so we'll see how this looks. So we're going to do a yellowy blonde. Yep, I know you like to do it too. Just pick some random colors. I don't know if I've ever really done the same hair color twice. Except maybe when we were at the show last weekend, and we were coloring the same stamp all day. So I'm just starting, going where the hair starts and flicking in, and where it ends and flicking in. It's kind of my simple way of doing it. All right. And I find if you hold your fingers as close to the tip of the marker, it makes it a bit easier to do your flicking. And some people find it easier to flick towards them. Other people find it easier to flick away. Hey, Lori. And I always try and follow the shape of the hair. All right. Next we're going to do Y15. Again, I'm just going over where I had initially flicked and then just flicking out a bit more. Thanks. I'm hoping this turns out. I've never done this one before, so kind of flying by the seat of my pants. Does everybody have to go back to work tomorrow? All right, next we're going to go to Y13. Don't know if you can hear that. My puppies are barking upstairs. You had to work all week. I had a couple of appointments today. I had acupuncture today and Cairo to put me all back together. You could hear them barking. All right, next we're going to do Y11. I actually don't mind this blonde hair color. It's a nice yellowy blonde. Thanks. So I'm going to go over one more time. So this is my first layer. I like to do 2 layers of hair. So I'm going to flip her upside down. I'm going to go back to my Y26. And I'm just going to do some more flicking. Try and get a little more texture in the hair. I know sometimes when I'm really futzing, I'll go over the hair a number of times. I try and tell myself no more than twice, but good luck. You hate hair? I love coloring hair, and you do such a beautiful job, Carrie. I love how you do. I don't know how you do it with the colored pencils. If I don't have a brushed nib on my marker, I just can't do it. So I don't know how you do it. Such a beautiful job with your colored pencils. Love what you did with the Magical Celebrations release, Carrie. Debbie, you make coloring look so easy. Oh, thank you. I feel rusty actually right now. Yeah, I love coloring the hair. Skin and hair is my favorite. We're going to go back to Y15. Wait till you see what Anne has coming out next month. Was one of my favorites. Well, they all are my favorites, but I really had a fun time coloring this release coming up. All right, and then we're going to go back to Y11. think I want to just do a bit more behind her. Max loves it. So with the Y26, I'm just going to flick in. I think I might go for a darker color. Let's try the Y2. Actually, what do I want to do? I'm going to go in with, what do I want to do? I'm going to go with YR24, just behind her hair here, just to give it a bit darker. So that was YR24. You like August release? Yes. I'm excited for that one too. So how does everybody feel about this so far? I feel like I just want to go over the hair one more time. So I'm going in with the the Y26. Just want to darken a few areas. It's no fun unless we can tease. Oh yeah, you haven't seen it yet, Carrie, have you? Thanks, Beverly. So Y15. And I'm going to just skip to the Y11 because all right. Then we'll go one more time with this really dark color, the YR24. And I'm just going to darken. There. All right. So we've got her skin and hair all colored up. So let's do her gown. I know a lot of people have a hard time with blacks, and I love to do any dark fabrics with my toner grays. So I'm going to use T9, T7, T5, and I might use the T3. But these are the colors I'm going to use for now. I might not use this one, but for sure T9, 7, and 5. Get you zoomed back in here. All right. So I'm going to start with my T9, and I'm going to go right along the side here. I'm going to leave a bit of a highlight there, I think, even though I don't know if it would, I doubt it would be like that, but I'm just going to do it for fun. Oh, and I missed a little bit of her hair here. Just going to color that in. Oh, this darn cough, it's back. Next I'm going to do the T7. Our new puppy is barking upstairs. She's just found her voice this week. She's like got a little bellow on her. All right, so this is T5. And yes, I go dark to light. I'm gonna fill in that under kind of highlight here. How old is the new puppy? She is 5 months old. And I'm going to go in with that T3, but I'll be changing that after. I'm just going to put that in to kind of do a base. And then I'm going to go in with my... I have had this... I was sick. I had that stupid cold that everybody has, but the cough just doesn't want to go away. And it's usually bad... Now I'm with the T3. It's usually bad right after I eat. I'm just going back and forth. Sometimes it takes a couple times to get this to blend. I'm going to just go in with the T3. I'm going to go back with my T5. And I'm going to leave that little white highlight on the side. Just like that. Does that look good, everybody? So far? Alright, so next I'm going to go back in with my T9. And I am going to just color along here. And I just kind of dabbed. Then T7. Thanks, guys. And then we're going to go in with our T5. And I'm really kind of going into the other colors with this one. I find with for me personally, with the blacks, you really have to go over and over and really get those things to blend. Do you have, and now, yes, I don't know what I would do without my toner grays. I love them. Do you have every Copic marker color? I do. I taught at a local Copic coloring at a local scrapbook store for a year and a half, and I used all the money I made from that to buy all the markers, and they were kind enough to give me the markers at a discount. So I do have them all. You do not need them all by any means. When I took the Copic certification, they gave a list of 72 markers, and honestly, every time I travel, like when I was in Florida last week at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo, I brought those markers, and I can get away with just coloring anything. Like I don't need my toner grays. I can get away with it, what's in this set. But I'll actually show you. These are the markers. I don't know if you can pause it once this is not live anymore, but these are, let me see if I can zoom out. These were the markers that Copic certification suggested you had. And these are the ones I bring. The only one I add is an R20 and a colorless blender. And those are all of them. Like that I would, if I had to, just say I lost all my markers, God forbid, I would just start with those suckers and I'd be fine. Alright, so let's get back to her gown. I think I want to go, now that that's dried, I'm going to go with my W5. And I'm going to just go up, and I'm going to leave that highlight at the top. Just like so, and I'm going to just soften that. Just like so. Yes, Anne does have a Copic buy group. You can get them for $5 and change. Can you post a still pic? Send me a message, Mindy, and I'll send you a picture of it. All right, so we're gonna go back in with our T9, and I'm just gonna flip her upside down. And now I'm going to draw, just with the T9, some straight lines. I'm gonna go down, because this is like a pleat. And in my mind, this would be the lighter of them. So I'm going to just go on either side of that. Yeah, Deborah, send me just a message on Messenger, and I will send you a picture. Anybody who wants a picture of the chart, just send me a message on Facebook, and I will send you a picture of the chart. So I'm just going down, and I'm going to just go up the side here. Yes, you want a low, a medium, and a high. So a light color, a mid-tone, and a dark color to get your blends. And the more you have, sometimes the more of a contrast you can get. So there is T9. And doesn't it look like a hot mess? But it will change. Oh, Mel has given a link to the buy group, the Copic buy group, if you guys are interested. So now I'm going to go with the T7. And then going on either side. And I'm also going to go down the center here. All right. Okay. And next we're going to go in not with T3, with T5. And I'm going to just go over top of what we did. And I want to leave a bit of white space for that really light marker, the T3. Okay. Okay, and now we're going to go in to T3. And this we're going to have to go a bit back and forth with to get it to look right. That's one thing I love about Copics is, you know, some people have said they're hard to use, but they really are forgiving. You can really work it. If you have the right paper, you can work it and work it until you get it the way you want. Eventually the paper is going to give out and you'll start getting that tackiness on, but I just love, I find that it one of the most forgiving mediums. So this is T9. I'm just darkening a few areas. T7. I'm just being a little quick. I just want to make sure I don't lose the contrast in certain areas. T5 next. And then T3. Hey, that would be fun. Well, maybe when Anne does her retreat, you'll be able to come to it. Do I have an art background? I don't. I stopped taking art in grade 9. I didn't really like my art teacher, and she was the one I would have had for all of high school, so I stopped. I do kind of regret it. My dad is an artist, and my mom is actually really good with art too, but alright, I'm just going to go over, try and get these to blend. So how does that look, guys? All right, we've got our pleated gown. All right, next I'm going to do her hat. So I'm going to go in with T9. Oh, thanks. Do you have to have a knee surgery, Debbie? Ooh, Deborah, you live in Orlando. So I'm going to go with T9. Pleaty. And next I'm going to go with T7. Ooh, you used to work part-time for Disney? What did you do there? Can you say? I would love to work for Disney, and I know when you work for a company, it does become a job, but I would love to be part of that magic, even if it meant cleaning the bathrooms. You are moving back to Orlando next summer. Where are you right now, Becky? If you don't mind me asking. You were in merchandise. I bet you met us once or twice. I have probably been to Disney, I want to say 50 or 60 times, I would say, in my lifetime. Maybe more. We've been coming since 1988. All right, so I'm going to go back to our T9. Oh, you were at Epcot. Were you at Epcot for like when it opened? I loved Epcot when it first opened. I feel like right now it needs some love. It's looking a little rough. But I know they're got some big plans for it, I saw. You used to be in the parks all the time. See, I would worry if I lived there, it would lose the magic being there all the time. Because I would seriously just go all the time. You went to the California one, Carrie? We got to go for the first time to that one this past September. I'm just going back and forth here to try and get this blend. And see with this, the T3, you really kind of have to work it. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go into the top of the hat here. And I am going to, just right here with my T9. You're Disney nuts like me. I don't know, there's just something that Disney does where they make you want to come back. You can come back, and there's something different every time. So T7. Thanks, Becky. All right, now we're going to go to T5. Yeah, I loved it. Was funny being because we have been to the Magic Kingdom in Orlando, the Florida Magic Kingdom. We've been countless times, and then we went to the California one for the first time this past September, and it was kind of discombobulating because, yes, it is very different from the both parks. There's definitely differences, like size is a big one. This is T3, by the way. But there's a lot of similarities. So it was funny, like I know where all the bathrooms are in the Florida Magic Kingdom, but I went to the California one, and I'm like, where is the bathroom? I don't know where it is. I didn't know where anything was, and it's similar, but it's different. For any of you Stranger Things fans out there, I kept on joking that I was in the Upside Down because it was the same but different. All right. So there's my first coat. I want to go over this, I think, one more time, except I'm going to leave out the T9 because I don't want to make it too dark on the top. All right, so T7 is what we're going to use. I'm leaving a bit of that white highlight around the back. Thanks, Debbie. All right, and then we're going to go to T5. And I'm kind of flicking. Then we'll go back to T3. So I'm not going out as far as I did with the T5 the last time because I'm just working on getting that blend. Okay. You love Stranger Things? Me too. We were like addicted right from the get-go. And actually, while I have the blacks out, I am going to color her shoes. So I'm just going to go in from either side with this is a T9. Then I'm going to skip right to T5. I know some people might think this is overkill, but and then T3. Whenever I say T3, I think of Terminator 3, the movie. All right, and then on her little pants, I am gonna color them in a navy blue, we'll just say. And I'm just gonna use, we'll do B99 and B97 just to get some contrast. And then we'll do the B97. Yeah, I was gonna ask, what show is this zoo show, Carrie? What stamp are we using? We are coloring up Annie, You Did It is the stamp set. You can see the name right there. Annie, You Did It. All right. Yes, I'm going to color her tassel, and I also got to color her diploma. So I'm going to switch to, I'm going to color in her diploma with E53 and 51. Let's see if I can find those guys. There's E51 and 53. All right, so I'm going to start with E53. I'm just going to go up the one side here, also right here. I'm going to go to E51. Sorry, I don't know if we cut out there. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender. Oops, wrong side. And I'm just going to push this back and soften those edges. All right, and then I'm going to go in with my, I think I'll do my W3 and W1. Let's see what happens with that. So I'm going to go in with W3. Alright. There we go. And again, same thing with the 0. Just going to soften that edge. Thanks. And then I'm going to go back in with my W3 one last time. I'm going to just do a straight line like that. And then maybe one just right under her hand. And then we got to do a little pop of red for that band, I feel. And I'm going to go with, I'll stick with my go-to R39, 37, and 35. 39, where are you? And 35. There we go. So I'm just going to quick base that in R35. Then I'm going to go in with the R39. There you go, two reds in. And then with R37. And then I'll go back to my R35, and I'm just going to dab right in that center. Then I'm going to go in with my 0 marker, and just right around the edges, I want to lighten that up a bit. So this is what we've got so far. Now we just got to color her tassel. And for that, I think the tassels are usually gold. Oh, and I got to do the top of her hat too, or graduating cap. So I'm going to go in with, that was T7, T5, and T3. Thank you, Annabella. This is T3. All right. Sorry that wasn't in screen. Okay, tassels. What color are the tassels? They're gold, right? I don't know if I want to do that because her hair is like yellow. Could it be a red tassel? Would that work? Or a blue tassel? Hey, Michelle. Let me know. What color should her tassel be? And while we're doing that, I'm just going to color in her eyes. So I'm going to use, I just use a... color goes with the school. Okay, well, I'm going to do it red then. Because she's Canadian, like me. So, oh, purple. That would be nice too. So I just have a white gel pen. And I'm going to just do a dot in each eye. And then I'm going to go boop, boop, just like that. I graduated high school, but I never went to my graduation. I was like, as soon as I got my diploma, I was out of there. Yeah, I'm going to go with red. So I'm just going to color this in R35. Yes. Alright, so I'm going to just base it in R35. And R39. But you know the funny thing, how I said I didn't go to my, or I didn't attend my graduation. I watched it. I just didn't want to walk down down the, whatever you call it, when the thing was going on. And it was funny because they announced my name and I had won a number of awards, but I wasn't there, you know, on stage to grab them. All right, so she's got her little red tassel. All right, now I'm going to show you what I like to do to my images to finish them off. So I am, I like to use, this is Faber-Castell. What color is it? It is medium flesh 131. So this is what I like to do on my skin sometimes. So I'll go in right under where I have shadows, in the cheeks. And then I take a blending stump and some Gamsol. And, oh, where do you have property on Ontario, Debbie? And I just blend it out. Just like so. I'm going to do the same up here. So there's that. And then I'm also going to, Max wants to know if you have any tips for staying in the lines. Practice. And I go out of the lines all the time, so. But when I'm getting close to an edge, I'll go more onto the point of the marker. That's usually what I do. So for pleats and stuff, I want more pop out of this. So I'm going to take a white colored pencil. I'm just going to accentuate a few areas. Like I'm going to go right up here. You see what that does? Good reading, good reader glasses and lighting. Yes, lighting is key for sure. I'm also going to go along the top of her hat. And also, I think right along each side here we're going to do. Thanks. Okay, and then I just accidentally colored over that tassel string, so I'm going to just darken that up again. There we go. And there's that. So I'm pretty happy with how she's colored. So let's turn this image into a card. So like I said, I'm using a few dies here. So I've started, I'm going to just zoom this out. You can see my messy desk for a bit. So I've got a piece of black cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's my base. I'm going to layer on a piece of gray cardstock that is slightly smaller. But before we do that, I want to do some ink blending. Where did I put my tape? All right. Thanks, guys. All right. So I am going to put this stencil. This is the Falling Stars stencil. And I love Anne's stencils. So I'm just going to stick this on the back because we're going to do some ink blending. All right, let's see if I can find. So I'm going to use some Moonrock hybrid ink from Stamp Anything. And let me just find my blender. Today I spent my time organizing all of my blender brushes that Anne just came out with. These are her new blending brushes. They are so soft and amazing. She just put them on the website a couple days ago. I believe they're $5.50 each or $5 for, is it $23? Correct me if I'm wrong. So they're an amazing price point. And what I love is they have caps. So yeah, so we're going to use that with some Moonrock ink. And I'm just going to, so we're kind of going for a tone-on-tone effect with this. So I'm just going to ink this background up. Yeah, I love that they have caps. I am so addicted to these. Like, I will never go back to the Tim Holtz blender blending foams. They are amazing, but these are a game changer. And these inks are hybrid inks, and you can, as you can see, I'm doing ink blending with them. And what I love about them is you can watercolor with them, you can Copic color with them. So if you wanted to do a no line, Anne has a color called Birch. That is amazing for no line watercoloring. Is the key to hybrid ink, what is the key? The hybrid ink versus regular ink. It looks, it blends easier. So hybrid ink is a blend of a dye and pigment-based ink, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. There is a bit of a learning curve to the blend, but I like how they saturate the paper. I don't know if that makes sense. There's just something about it. I really love the hybrid inks. Yeah, these blenders are amazing. All right, let's take this off to reveal. Ta-da! And I think what I want to do now, oops, what am I doing? I just inked up the cap. I am going to first take this off. And I want to just blend around the edges of this. So I'm going to just start off. And I want the top to be a bit darker, I think. So as you can see, you get nice, soft blends. And with these blending brushes, you know, like with a regular foam blender, you really have to put your muscle into it. Where with these, you barely touch the paper. You let the brush do the work. Yeah, these you don't get the lines. You do. That's as long as you're not pushing hard down. You literally, I'm just setting this down and I'm not putting any pressure down. And you get the softest blends. I was playing around earlier with the inks and I created this background. You know, I was just trying to see, because sometimes you can get muddy colors, and I didn't, and I just played with the squiggle wiggle background, and then I sprayed it with some Perfect Pearls, just playing around. I don't know if it'll ever become anything. I'm just gonna go around these edges. But yeah, Anne launched these brushes at the show, and they were just like, they're amazing, and people were trying them at the make and take, and just after they were trying them, snapping them up. All right. What did Anne say here? The hybrid inks are awesome because you don't need to think which ink to use depending on what you're doing. Yes. Yep, this is Moon Rock. And I'm just kind of working, and I think I want it just slightly darker right here. And we'll go a little under here as well. All right. Okay. All right, so next, I think I'm gonna get out my Perfect Pearls. I'm just gonna cap this up. And I just mix some Perfect Pearls with water, and I like to just sprinkle this on, and it gives a shimmery effect once it dries. And one thing I like about the hybrid inks is they aren't water reactive. So having a water reactive ink is cool. You can get that kind of bleached effect, but sometimes you don't want that. So I like that I can do things like this, and I'm not going to get the bleaching. So once this dries, you're going to get a nice shimmery effect on the background. It'll play along with the stars. So I'm just going to try and dry this a bit, and then I'm going to, hey Sheila, I'm just going to, there we go. So I don't know if that's kind of showing up. Can you see the shimmery goodness on there? So now I'm going to glue this down. If you haven't tried this glue, it's a Stamp Anything glue. It is awesome. It dries super clear, but it is a liquid glue, so it gives you that time, that wiggle room time. And it's super affordable. I think it's like $4 or something like that. And I have, when did the first Grab and Go box come out? That was the Wizards box, and I am still on that same tube. It lasts forever. Okay. Okay. I got that down. Okay. So there is that. Move that stencil. Actually, I'm going to clean my stencil off first. Okay. Set that out of the way. All right. Next, we're going to use, so I had already cut that out, but I used the two tag dies to create this, because I want to put that here. My idea with the card is to have that, and then we have our little graduating girl here, and then I'm going to have the awesome sentiment or awesome die here, and then use the sentiment from the stamp set that says you did it, and I'm going to heat emboss that on white. So I think what I want to do next is I'm going to ink blend using the same stencil. I'm going to ink blend in a different color on this background piece. All right, so let me just grab that stencil, and I'm going to reuse this tape. And let me just look at the inks here. I think I want to use, I'm going to use a bit of, I'm going to use Freesia and Tangerine, I think. So, oops. I'm going to use a Tangerine, and I need Freesia. There we go. And I need those two colors. Oops, I keep on bumping this. Sorry, guys. There's Freesia and Tangerine. My desk is becoming a hot mess. All right. Okay, so first I'm going to start with Freesia. And I'm going to ink this up. And sometimes I like to just dab off because I don't want this to be super strong yet. And again, with a very light hand. Let's just have a peek. Perfect. I'm going to just darken that up more. I want some stars to be darker, some to be a little more faint. And one thing I really love about these blending brushes is with your, some of the stencils are really fine and detailed. This gets into all the little nooks and crannies. All right, now we'll go into Tangerine, and I'm just going to darken a few areas, get some of that off. Okay, let's see what we've got. Ta-da! I love that. I'm gonna just clean my stencil. Yes, thank you so much, Mel, for putting those links in. All right. And I think I want to add, so I don't know if you can see how this Perfect Pearl's dried on there. I think I'm going to add a shimmer. I'm going to just spritz a bit of this on here. And I'm going to quickly dry that with my heat tool. And one thing that's nice about the hybrid inks is because I just spritz this with water, it's not going to bleed. All right. And I'm just going to take a piece of that just to get any excess off. And look at, I don't know if that's coming. You can see the shimmer. I don't know if it's going to show in this bright light. So we've got that. And this so far. It's coming together. Now I'm trying to decide, should we make this into a shaker card or not? I feel like we should. But I think what I want to do next is I want to do some ink blending. Here, I'll set this here so people can still see. I want to do some ink blending with some colors and do a fun with the word die. And I think I'm going to do that in reds. Let me just grab a piece of cardstock. Does the shimmer come in other colors? This is just a clear shimmer, but I think it does come in other colors in the Perfect Pearl. All right, so I want to do, I think I'm going to do crimson and tangerine. I think we'll stick with those two. And maybe we'll work into freesia as well. Okay, so we've got these colors, and I need my crimson ink blender. There we go. All right. So I'm going to start off with crimson. Hybrid, just Stamp Anything hybrid ink. Gonna really ink that up. And I'm gonna start off my page. And I don't know if you can see how beautiful that blends with these brushes. And I want to go for kind of a ombre or gradient. I don't know what the correct word would be. So I'm going to start with red. And then we'll go into orange, and then we'll go into the yellow. So crimson to tangerine to freesia. Okay, so I'm gonna... Love how these blend. And again, a light hand. You don't want to go heavy-handed on it. You'll make yourself more work than you need to. Now we'll go into freesia. We'll blend out. Thank you so much, Mel, for doing all these links. See, where did I put that die? Oh, here we are. Did I do it long enough? I did. All right. And so one thing I want to do just before I do that, I want to do some splatter on this, because I want that to be on the awesome die cut as well. Just going to cap these guys. Okay, and we'll get that off. Okay, so you can see what we've got going on. Mel. Yeah, Mel's gonna have to be on every live now. She's like the Vanna White. All right, so I'm going to just run this through my die cut machine. Kind of reaching over here. You could see my craft space right now. It is a disaster. I've been organizing and crafting all weekend. All right. Shimmer, shimmer, that's right. We always say at the shop because we watch that, you know, I don't know what it's called, the pageant moms, and the one mom would always go, "Sparkle baby." So I always say that to my coworkers, "Sparkle baby." All right, so there we've got our own awesome ombre that I want to put right here. And I'm wondering, I think what I'm going to do is back that onto some black card. So let me just cut that out one more time. So I want to do a bit of a shadow kind of effect. And don't you just love how the dyes are in that teal? And I just noticed this. There we go. And they cut really great too. All right. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is, just to make this stand out, is to kind of layer that like that. Something like that. Then we have her. Oh yeah, should we make this a shaker card, guys? Let me know. Or should we just keep it, you know, as is? And I think what I want to do is, I need some red card. Actually, I don't have any red card, so I'm going to make some. I'm just going to take a piece of scrap, and with some R35, where is my Copic marker for R35? There we go. This is what I like to do. If I don't have a cardstock on hand, I'm just going to make my own, because this is what I'm going to stamp the sentiment on. And I need some in my embossing bag. Here it is. All right. So yes, do a shaker fun or a shaker card. I need my You Did It. Actually, do I want to do this in white? I think I'm going to just do it in black ink, so I don't even need to do embossing. Where is... So I have one vote for a shaker card, or leave it. Let me know. All right, so I'm just going to pop that in. Shaker. All right, I'm going to use some of the Obsidian black ink. You can see how nice this stamps. See that? I love it. Okay, where did I put my... Clean that off. I'm going to put this back before I lose it. Okay. Then I'm just going to cut this out. Where's the edge of mine? Let's see here. looks about right. There we go. Do you have gold stars? That would be cute as a shaker. I don't think I do. I have some sequins I could use. Let me just have a look. Okay. So I have this, which I think I want to flag the one end. I want to cut a bit of that off, though. All right. So I'm just going to flag this end. Okay, so I'm going to go like that. I think I'll do like that. Awesome, you did it. Something like that. All right, so let's do our shaker card. Where did I put my piece of acetate? Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. All right. So I need... I'm just going to roughly cut this out. I could just run the top piece through my die cutting machine as well, because there is the background piece, but I'm just going to do this for now. You have a cover to the scissors. Yes, I actually just got these not long ago. They're those Cutter Bee ones, because my scissors weren't as good anymore. My original ones, they're like four years old, and they weren't cutting anymore. All right. Okay, I am going to glue this down. Where did I put the... Good. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna just glue this sucker down. It'll just take a moment to set. And then while we're doing that, I'm gonna cut some foam tape to make this into our shaker card. Where is my Tim Holtz scissors? Okay. So I'm just gonna cut thin. Sorry, this might be a bit of the boring part. I hope I'm not boring you guys. I'm just gonna place that along the edges here. Make sure it's hidden, which it is. Okay, we'll cut a bit more. And what I like to do when it's flipped over, yeah, it is. It works amazing on the acetate. And it takes a little bit to set, but I've used it multiple times. Okay. Okay. Now usually I like to do a double set. Just gonna run the embossing buddy in between here, just so it's not too staticky. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna put some of the jade. These are the Stamp Anything adornments. I'm just gonna put some in the center. Now, I'm hoping these aren't gonna be too thick. Usually, like I said, I'll do a double of the foam tape, but for the sake of this live, I'm not going to. So that was in jade, and this is in snow diamonds. I know I need 1/4 inch wide foam tape. And I think I'm gonna grab a bit of some gold sequins, if I have some. Here we go. I'm gonna throw a few of these gold sequins in. Let's get this back on there. Yeah, I think so too, because I'm just gonna add a bit of that. Okay, let's hope that this will still shake. Let's get the foam tape off. Okay, let's pop this on. And if I don't line it up perfect, I can just cut off the extra with my scissors, which is not too bad. And we've got shaker bit. So I am going to just take my scissors and just remove where I didn't line it up 100% perfect. There. So there we go. Look at our little shaker. So I'm going to pop that right there, and let me get this. I got a bit of foam tape. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down. This is what I love about liquid glue. You have that time to make sure it is centered the way you want it. Okay. Okay. And I think I want my little girl to go there. And, you know, did I lose my sentiment banner? I think I did. Oh, there we go. This is what I need. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this on top of that. Oh, I used the Stamp Anything glue tube. Sorry, I am not paying attention like I should. So I'm gonna put this on the back, and one thing I love is the applicator tip. You can do fine details. You can even dot, like if you're putting sequins on, like right here, I'm going to put it. And the great thing about it is if you have glue ooze over onto your project, it doesn't dry shiny or tacky. It dries clear. And like I said, I've had this tube since the Wizards box. When did the Wizards box come out in? And I haven't, I'm still on the same tube. And I brought this with me on a couple of trips. Okay, so I'm going to just glue that over top of this like so, just so you kind of get like a highlight. There we go. Got our awesome. I think I'm gonna go something like that. Yes, thanks Michelle for tuning in. We'll see ya. I think I'm gonna put "you did it" up here. Awesome. So let's start gluing this down. So I am going to need, I think I'm going to have her slightly off the card. So I'm going to need some of that foam adhesive. Just like that. Yeah, we'll put some kind of up there as well. So I'm going to go like that, and then we'll put some glue on her so she doesn't go anywhere. Thanks, Anne. You're almost there. Just got a bit of that. Okay. Put her like that. Next we gotta glue. I think, do we want to put that like that? I think I'm gonna put "you did it" up here. Should I put "awesome" like that? Or should I have it vertical or horizontal? What do you guys think? It's kind of what I'm thinking. Something like that. I think I'm going to do horizontal. So we're going to glue this down. You like that? Okay, perfect. So let's glue, get this on. Okay. And then we'll put a little bit of foam right here. Perfect. I'm glad everybody thought so. You know, sometimes you second guess yourself and you're like, I don't know. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to take this, cut it off. And then I feel like it needs, oops, a few sequins, and I want to get some of the bigger ones as well. So let me just grab that. Where did I put them? Here. All right. So I'm just going to take a few of the larger ones. And I'm going to just put some, I want to have my sequins kind of coming across the card like that. So I'm going to put some, because I want it to be like a celebration. And I always try and keep it an uneven number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. So let's get these guys away. We're almost in the finish line. How long has this taken so far? So this is what I love about this glue. You can put little bits down. I need my little pokey tool. "90 minutes, an hour and a half. Oh my goodness. I guess that's not bad. So you can do the tiniest little dots. And yep, I'm putting it over the acetate. This one doesn't have an even back on it. There we go. There we go. There. And last but not least, let's glue this to a card base. So you can see I've got the sequins on there. So I'm going to glue this onto the card base. There we go. We finished it. Here we are. So there's our shaker card. So again, let me go over what we used. So we have the Annie You Did It stamp set, the awesome word die, and it is awesome. We used the Shaker Basics set 2, the wonderful Falling Stars stencil, our hybrid inks, and of course the blender brushes to create our shaker card. So I hope you guys had a fun time. It wasn't too boring. And again, if there's something you'd like to see or an image you'd like to see colored, send us a message and let us know. We'll talk to you later, and I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.